14 years ago, a handful of women at a small church in Coopersburg, Pennsylvania, looked at a problem, a seemingly unsolvable problem that was crushing many American families. So great were the costs of medical care for serious or chronic illnesses that families were being torn apart. If they had life savings, they were wiped out. If they had jobs, they lost them. They knew one such family was right there in their church. But they looked at this darkness and then they had an idea. While the national debate about paying for health care rumbled on, they asked themselves what could they do right now to start making a difference. What if they could stage a community event, a block party, to raise money to help? Nancy Carr of Coopersburg organized a meeting with 6 other women in 2002. And the result was the first community outreach benefit held at St. John's United Church of Christ. Here's how Nancy remembers that time.
There were 7 women that came to the meeting, and the Holy Spirit found favor on us that night, and we came out of there an hour and a half later trying to have a block party and raise money for one of the members of our church, Michelle Graves. So it was, like I said, just a calling from the Holy Spirit for us to do something well for the community.
The Reverend Richard Gould, known as Reverend Rick, was the pastor at St. John's. He had organized a support group for people dealing with chronic health problems, not knowing at the time that his congregation soon would respond in a way that has changed the lives of so many who suffer.
It turns out that the conversation kept turning back to the exceedingly high expenses due to medicines that quite often, even with families that had quite good health care coverage, they were paying tremendous out-of-pocket expenses, and it was killing them. In a moment, their lives can change radically. They can be living what we would consider a normal middle-class existence, and then a medical situation happens in their lives and it turns everything upside down.
The Community Outreach Benefit, or COB, became an annual event. Every year on the last Sunday in July, it is a must-attend block party for the Southern Lehigh, Upper Bucks, and Saucon Valley communities. Over the years, the benefit has continued to expand beyond one church's project to become a true community event. To date, COB has raised a stunning $580,000 to help 41 families.
The people that we helped, it wasn't so much the money that we gave them, but it was the fact that we showed that we cared. And that made it really, really special.
They come to the understanding that there are these strangers who are willing to help them out in this process. You know, that's a kind of a gift that we receive from the recipients. We don't ask for gratitude or anything, but it comes very naturally.
In 2014, one of 4 beneficiaries was Carly Ziegler of Hellertown. Carly, now 17, has cerebral palsy and a bright smile, a beautiful singing voice, and an outgoing personality. What her family did not have is enough money to get a suitable van to transport Carly in her powered wheelchair. Here are Carly and her mom, Carol.
I was very limited to what I could do and what I was able to do with regards to being outside in the world.
And what do you do now, Carly?
I go everywhere. I go to the movies, I go to my sister's lacrosse games, I go everywhere.
The COB organization has truly been a life-changing moment in our family. Carly and I go on girls' nights, girl days, excursions, where before we could not have done it. And just the amount of work that the individuals do to help the families that are in need is it's just incredible. And we have decided that this is an organization that we will also be with for many, many years to come, just to help the individuals that need it.
2014 was the most successful year yet for COB, raising $80,000 for those 4 families. This year, the benefit will help 5 families. They include a teenaged boy from Saucon Valley with cerebral palsy and whose family needs help to get a second powered wheelchair. And there are 4 families whose serious medical needs have depleted their life savings and in some cases driven them deep into debt, despite having jobs and insurance. Here is Tiffany Gilmore from Upper Saucon Township, who spent 2.5 months in an induced coma after suffering a severe toxic reaction to a medication. She says it was life-changing to hear that she would be a COB beneficiary.
We had heard about the fundraiser before, and we helped out a couple years ago. We even came as a family when I was healthy, and we never knew we'd be recipients of it one day. The day that we got accepted, we were just so thankful and blessed. And it's just so good because God just so set up every little instant to be right there at the perfect time that we needed it, and for the right people to be in the right spot right when we needed it. So yes, I definitely think it was His hand in that.
Debbie Lowe of Quakertown had worked on the COB task force for several years and this year became its leader.
I think that it has cemented my belief that most people are good and want to help, whether it be monetarily, whether it be giving of their time and talents, whether it be selling raffle tickets. It takes hundreds of people volunteer for COB, and that's the only reason we're a success. And the recipients are just an honor to work with. They struggle daily, but they do it with a smile, and it's just an honor to be able to help them.
The COB Party is a success because it has day-long good food, family fun, and first-rate stage entertainment. The community's generosity helps COB to reach its fundraising goals, but it's more than that. Reverend Gould explains.
Our culture, I think, has this sense of privacy that, and you have to put on a good appearance to the world. That is often a barrier, and I think COB in some way reaches through that barrier. It gives people a connection and a sense that they're not alone in that journey, that there are others who will struggle with them in some small way to help make their lives a little easier.